try to silence the truth, but he's loud and clear. From the bayou to the block, everyone can hear. Got the people united, it's a movement, no doubt. With his mic in hand, he's breaking all the clout. City eat the official scheming, yeah, they playing it slick. But Gerard's on the line and he's ready to kick. For the schools and the streets, he's fighting the fight. With a heart full of passion, he's igniting the night. Gerard on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. From the jazz in the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerard on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerard on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. In the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerard on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerard on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerard on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, tuning out, let the truth resonate. With Gerard on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerard on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, let the truth resonate. With Gerard on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Am I up? I'm on air. Y'all got me over here singing and got me on there going, yeah. recovered, 28 bodies? And they are fearing that there are no survivors after this midair collision. Our hearts and prayers go out to them. All right, Mr. Elmore, what you say, buddy? Where you been?
Hey man, how you doing, man? Always
Good.
a pleasure, man. How you feeling, brother?
Good yourself.
Yes, sir. Can I make a comment?
Sure.
Yeah, look. I remember, oh man, to this day when Kennedy was assassinated, I was a kid at Corpus Christi.
Wait a minute, say again, you remember what now?
Yes, sir. I remember the Kennedy assassination. At the time, I was at Corpus Christi Catholic School, and it was a very sad day, not only for us, but for our country.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, was it something. I can remember to this day. Matter of fact, it was the first time in National Football League history the games were canceled that Sunday, believe it or not.
Wow.
So it was, I mean, like I said, I'm old enough to remember. But
Do you want to know? Do you want to know what happened?
You want me to be honest with you?
Absolutely.
Okay. To be very honest with you, and I want us all to think, and you're a very smart young man, and you, Jazz, also. When you look at all the presidents, let's think Obama, Clinton, Bush daddy, Reagan. Now, why I'm naming those names? They were one of the most Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal presidents of our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Now, let me ask you why. You must say, I use the line. Well, why? Well, there's a reason why. Listen, I have, please forgive me for saying this, being someone that was in the military, to understand having a clearance, there's a need to know to a certain extent on what you need to know. The presidents may not needed to know because that's something you don't want to know because what you're seeing that you know. That's why if you read Obama's book, he said that when he's seen what he's seen, he wish he'd never seen it. So I'm not naive, Gerard, to think the federal government. Now, we all know, let's put our thinking cap on. You're a very smart young man.
Need to know.
Our president, the president right now that we have, is the ultimate quintessential SHIT sir.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real now. You ain't gonna tell me the SHIT sir that he is. He's so democratic. He's so lover of our people and democracy and freedom of information that he think we need to know. Gonna tell us the truth? Not really. You'd be naive to think that. The people who's been in government for years and years and years that deals with sensitive, very classified sensitive information that they wish they'd never seen that they've seen. Gonna tell him, Mr. President, it sounds good you want to say. We don't know your personal, professional intentions. Guess what? This ain't no need for all American people to know. Now, they'll show you some things. They ain't going to show you everything. You think they can show you everything? I'm not naive to think they can show me everything. And listen, right now, look, this thing's about secrecy. Gerard, don't let the way I say this. When you read about secrecy, if I don't need to know, I don't want to know. Because once I know, I'm in jeopardy because I know too much.
Mm.
So what I'm saying, Jerome, I mean, as American people, you would have to say, you're American like me. We're all American citizens. You say, in this day and age, all those years, what was America was hiding all those years? What were you hiding years that you don't think I need to know now when everybody's dead and gone? Damn near.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something about that, man. To be honest with you, brother, it always puzzled me. Now let's go a little deeper than this.
But I'm not puzzled. I'm gonna tell
Kennedy.
you why in a minute. But go ahead. I want to hear what you finish up.
Okay, this is my take, and I'm very passionate about what I'm about to tell you. If you want to release Robert Kennedy, okay, John F. Kennedy, okay, Martin Luther King, what about Malcolm X? Let's release that about him.
Mm-hmm.
Now come on, now let's be real. We naive to think that black men and the Muslims murdered Malcolm. The government wanted Malcolm dead. Come on, man. I'm not saying something that's so taboo. You say, oh, that's what Elmo is saying? Yes, sir, that's what I'm saying. The government wanted Malcolm dead.
No, I mean, from what I understand, government want all of them dead.
It's not funny, but you're right. Absolutely right.
So what I would want out of this conversation piece is, I think. Well, let me start here. I don't think that they are saying that, we're gonna have this stuff, we're gonna have this information, and we're gonna release it. I think the reason why you probably haven't heard anyone else release it is that you're gonna find out a lot of stuff that the government did, from the FBI, Edgar Hoover, who else? All those those white men that were taping and calling Martin Luther King's home and threatening his wife, and playing tapes of Martin Luther King supposedly having an affair with other women, and taped him in the bed. I mean, it's a whole bunch of stuff that you're gonna find out that the government did. That's why I think they didn't release the tapes, not because they're trying to find out who did it. I think it's because they didn't want to know or let everybody know the underhanded BS that the government did.
Well, you are absolutely right. We both saying I may be saying some things different from you, but we're on the same page, brother, of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. And the thing that I'm saying is that if you understand how the government works with secrecy.
You did what now? Say again.
Sure, they're going to. I said, if you understand how the government works with classified, unclassified information, they're going to declassify some papers, but they ain't going to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're gonna have areas that we're gonna look at and read, and they're gonna be blowing smoke up us, and we could be thinking we learning something. We ain't learning squat, because a lot of that stuff gonna be blacked out. Come on, Gerard.
Hey, it's gonna be redacted.
Thank you. So it don't mean nothing if you ain't never told me the truth. There's only
you don't think that
privy few.
You don't think somebody's gonna request for a unredacted copy?
It's going to be need to know basis, and the people who need to know wish they'd never seen it. Because first and foremost, they only have a few people privy, and the people who seen it wish they'd never seen it because it's something they don't like, whether they're Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, what have you. You wish you never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
If I seen it right now, I probably would go berserk if you showed me the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, if you tell me the truth, but that's a big if. If you tell me the truth.
Yeah.
So.
Well. If you tell me the truth.
But would you want to know? Is this on your top of list of things and your bucket of stuff you need to know? Do you want to know?
Gerard, to be honest with you, I'm 73 years old. I have emotions about it, and it's gonna make me more angry than I'm already been about it.
Right.
I don't have a top secret clearance. And why bamboozle me to make you think I'm privileged to know something that's so highly classified nobody known for years? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, don't insult my intelligence. I mean, what I'm saying, I'm not saying you, brother. I'm saying don't insult my intelligence,
right.
Trump, like you want me to know something that nobody want to know because it's so devastating for American people to know what our government did to our people.
Everybody said the same thing, especially when it came down to Martin Luther King, that the FBI under Edgar J. Hoover, he was terrible in a lot of the moves that he made when he was spying on him, recording conversations, had his hotel rooms in different cities bugged so they could tape him with other women, and then would call his wife, Coretta, and play the tapes back over the phone so she could hear him. I'm like, wow. But I want to know, was that some of the stuff that they did?
Well, listen to what you just said. Now, look, I want you to think. Listen to what you just said. Okay, now I want you to think. And you're a very smart guy. I'm not saying that because I'm blowing smoke. You're a very smart, intelligent guy. That's why I listen to you. Now, think about it. Hoover was guarding gospel as the FBI director, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He had information on everybody and everyone that can embarrass you. He was never replaced as FBI director until he died. Because so people, every president was scared of him damn near. People were scared of him. And they never replaced him until after he died. What that tells you, that man was, you think the president was powerful? You said Nixon was very powerful? Yeah. Johnson was powerful. Truman was powerful. They're very powerful men in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, but they had nothing on Hoover. Hoover had some on them. Trust me. And you would love to be to fly on inside those walls of secrecy on information they had on a lot of people that we loved and admired. Say, boy, I wish I'd never seen what I heard about him.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so the thing about it is, it's I'm gonna be honest with you. Again, I hate to say this, Trump again the third time. It's a shit stir.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Did you ever see the movie Judas and the Black Messiah?
No, sir.
You never saw it? Okay. All right.
No.
I wish that you could see.
I wish I'd like to see it.
The movie of Judas and the Black Messiah. It's actually the known betrayal of Fred Hampton, who was the chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. And it gave one of his best friends, one of the FBI guys went at one of his best friends for drug use, having a weapon, and told him, like, you're going to do what I asked you to do or you're going to jail. So I need you to inform me what Fred Hampton and this Black Panther Party movement is doing. And instead of taking his lick, going to jail, they were going to get him for, weapons charges. They were going to get him for drugs, a whole bunch of other stuff. He ended up turning as a FBI informant against Fred Hampton, telling the FBI what was going on. I can almost guarantee you that a lot of that stuff went on with probably Martin Luther King as well. Because, this is where we all learn. If you don't want nobody to know, you don't tell your inner workings, because usually somebody in your inner workings is going to tell somebody. You think that they for you, and really they're not. They are informants. That's why I always say that, you know what? Don't tell nobody unless you don't want everybody to know.
Well, a secret, look, Gerard, I have a saying. Please forgive me. I'm not so holy and down. I can't say this. Bottom line is, I'm not a bad guy, but a secret is a secret. It's not a secret if I tell everybody telling you, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, you read Obama's book, a very powerful book. Obama says it very plainly. The president when the president-elect is privy to all kinds of secretive information in terms on the past, the present, and the future. Mm-hmm. And he has a need and right to know. He's the only one. Now, there are provisions on who else is supposed to know but you. Obama said it. This is a written document in his book that he said. He said to himself, my God, I'm so proud of myself to be the president of the United States serving the American people. He said, oh my God, he said, I wish I didn't have the need. He said he wished it wasn't required that he knew all this because he wished he never knew. and he laughed behind it. They say he laughed behind it, but it wasn't funny. He said he only used to cry but laugh. He said, but man, I wish I never knew what I knew. Mm-hmm. Now, he never told you what he knew now. But it wasn't funny. But it's just true. I mean, it's a thing like I was in the military. I had a clearance. There's still need for me to tell you some things like experience. It's not your business. You put a gun on me, I ain't going to tell you. But the bottom line is certain things that you just, that's why I think Trump is, he's again, S-I-S-H-I-T, stir, and he wants to stir the public. That's a diversional tactic to get us off all the things that he's doing. I'm being very honest with you. He don't give a rat's what about that. He don't care about Robert Kennedy. He sure don't care about Kennedy or Martin. And all of them were very men. I think we have a right to know. But at this day and time in our lives, Gerard, and you look at all what we don't know and we're saying, or we hope we don't know, or what we think we know.
But do you want to know?
Again, Gerard, I just at my age right now, and all I think I know and don't know, and all the foolishness that's been going since then. I don't think America's unless I have a really clarified.
Okay, I got you. But just answer this question: yay or nay? Do you want to know?
If I had the clearance to want to know, I would want to know.
No. Just answer.
To be honest with you.
Yes or no?
No.
You don't want to know. Okay.
No, I mean, because it's gonna make me angry. Look, it's gonna make me angry because I have. It's not conspiracy theory. It's not a goofy conspiracy theory, Gerard. I have some feelings about our government over the years with our people and what they did, and not just with Robert, not with just John, but even with Martin. And the thing about it, that's why they never want to release it. So I don't know why Trump is trying to play with people's minds. He's playing with your mind. He's trying to play with people's minds because he's doing so many shenanigans. He's trying to make it look like, oh, well, you know what? He sure is honest.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he sure care about the American people. So, give me a break. Give me a break.
All right, sir. Thank you much. Because I got to take my break.
Thank you, buddy.
I appreciate you much, Mr. Elmore.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. So we have put it up on Facebook as well. Let's take the poll. Do you want to know what's in the JFK and MLK files? Yay, yes, or no? Do you want to know? Go to our Facebook Live page. You can go to mine as well and take the poll, yes or no. All right, we'll take the break here and we'll come back and take some more of your telephone calls in just a few minutes. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
I'm Howard Robertson, founder and creator of the Play Ode app. Back in the day, we used to ask, how you living? And that's still a relevant question today. Listening to good stuff helps you live well, like what you hear on the Play Ode app. ODE stands for Our Digital Entertainment, so you enjoy the best radio stations playing the best classic R&B, hip-hop, gospel, smooth jazz, news, sports, and podcasts. And new sounds are coming at you in 2025, so don't wait or hesitate. Download PLAYODE today.
Hello, I am Bishop Fred A. Caldwell Sr., host of the Know Your Bible International radio broadcast, which is heard here on WBOK 1230 AM each Sunday morning at 8 o'clock a.m. So join me here for a blessing, won't you?
When you talk, we listen. WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood, home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check, look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood, home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check, look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, I see him online. I got to say what's happening to my good friend, Reverend Percy Howard. How you doing, sir? Thank you so much for being online with us. Reverend Percy Howard said, nope, I don't want to know what's in MLK's file. I don't want to know. Go to our Facebook Live page and you can hit the yes or no button because we're taking a poll, okay? I don't know. I might be like Reverend Howard here. Reverend Percy probably thinking the same way, or I'm thinking like Reverend Percy. Well, either or. that there's probably going to be something in those files that's going to make me think differently about the civil rights icon that a majority of us only know and know from his speeches and the marches that he did for civil rights. But because I really think that a lot of us put man or men in a place of leadership that we, look like heroes almost. But no matter who you put, if they got red blood rolling through their veins, they're going to make a mistake or they're going to do something and have to ask for forgiveness. And I think that we'll end up seeing some of that in some of those, probably in some of those files. What you say, George? Man. George?
Man, I want to know.
You do want to know?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Man, I don't know what's going on with my phone, boy. I got no volume.
We can hear you. The wind blowing.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, I want to know, bro. I want to know everything in them files.
Why?
Because I want to make sure that that brother was human.
That he was what?
That he was human.
Of course he was human.
Well, you get to this point, right, where you put people up on such high pedestals.
Oh yeah, he's on the pedestal.
Huh?
Yeah, he was. You could say that he was on the pedestal.
Yeah, you put people up on such high pedestals that other people might think what they do is unattainable. You have to be a certain kind of saint, or you have to be a certain kind of martyr, or that you are without blemish and all that foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, if he has blemishes, that's all right, because that proves that there's still work to be done and that anybody can step up and do it. You ain't got to be Crystal King, you know what I'm saying?
But we all understand that he made some mistakes. I just don't want to know. I just don't think that some folks want to hear those mistakes. There is no one person, not one, that has never made a mistake in their life, or during the time that he was under surveillance by the FBI. So
I agree with you in that regard, you know.
Yeah.
But I think we have a tendency to revere I'm outside of the window.
I can hear it.
We have a tendency to revere with such high regard, and like I said, to me, to know that he was human, to know that he had whatever urges, desires, the stress that man was under.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The stress that he was constantly under with the FBI and the CIA and everybody else who hated on him, threatening him and his family. It'd just be good to know that he was just a human being doing the right thing.
So what about JFK?
And so what
about JFK?
JFK? Man, that's a whole nother reality. We already know that JFK and his family had their foot and fingers and everything. He wasn't no pure, person by no stretch of the imagination.
You want to hear about, what's her name, Marilyn Monroe?
Marilyn Monroe and whoever else. The boy was a hound dog.
You think that's how you're going to end up portraying him?
Well, they're going to want to portray him in that light. But, it's more like, who his daddy was and how did his daddy make money and how, all of that they put out in the public. So the only other thing that can come out of behind him, as far as I'm concerned, was his actions in Vietnam. Was he really going to go with what Eisenhower and understand the industrial complex and pull out of Vietnam? And is that what really got him killed? Is that what really got him, the fact that he had troops in Vietnam, but the fact that he didn't want to over-engage in Vietnam and he was pushed by, military industrial complex.
Okay.
Not the generals, maybe, but, they represent the same factors.
So you want to know? No ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Well, and you know what I want to know? I want to know all the contrivancy behind his assassination. You know, the guy that shot him and the guy that shot the guy that shot him.
You talking about Lee Harvey Oswald?
Yeah, I want to know all that. I really want the truth. And Bobby Kennedy Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I want all the information about him to come out too.
So why do you think they shot Lee Harvey Oswald to kill him?
To cover up the cover up.
Why do you think they killed Lee Harvey Oswald?
To cover up the cover up.
Oh, to cover up the cover up. That was your answer.
That's where I was at earlier. I'm like, you always got.
They want him to tell it.
They got the first fall guy, then they're gonna have the second place fall guy in case the first. You know what I'm saying? I believe
the way that I'm sorry. The way that everything they show you these different things, he couldn't have killed Kennedy anyway because of the bullets that struck Kennedy came from a different direction. So he was the nail in the coffin for the press.
Yes, indeed. All right, Judge. Thank you, sir.
Man, look, here as we go, bro. On my cell phone, on my radio, on my TV next door, at my neighbor house, on my computer, right? I'm gonna be listening to WBOK 12:30 a.m. Gerard G-Man Stephen with jazz on the backdrop, bringing power to the people, homie. Because if I ain't listening, I'm gonna miss out on some black facts I need to know. Bye.
Yes, indeed. All right, George. Coming up, y'all, we've got news. Reverend Wallace, hold on. We're coming back. We're gonna take your telephone calls, and we'll make sure you take our poll, Jazz, and put it up on the Facebook Live page. Do you want to know what's in the JFK and MLK files? Yes or no? Plus, I got to talk to y'all about this. The story done come out, and I want to know what you think. The story is in NOLA.com. It says, how Louisiana achieved historic progress in reading, outranking other states on the national test. You believe it? I'll read the story, y'all tell me. More
I'm
coming
going to
up,
go
y'all.
out on a limb and say that's not good for the national test.
News is next, folks.
WBOK 1230 AM New Orleans, home of the reality check, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. President Trump has been briefed on the Potomac River plane crash where a military helicopter collided with an American Airlines jet. He thanked first responders for their search and rescue efforts. OpenAI is investigating if Chinese startup DeepSeek used ChatGPT data to build its AI assistants, suspecting inappropriate distillation of its model. They are aware of such practices in China. NASA scientists revealed that samples from the ancient asteroid Bennu contain water and 14 of the 20 amino acids essential for life. NASA's Nikki Fox noted Bennu originated from a celestial body critical for life's emergence. And Hamas is planning to release 3 Israeli hostages today. This is part of phase 1 of the ceasefire and hostage deal, with 2 rounds of releases having already taken place. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
New Schools for New Orleans wants to send a special shout out to our partner, the All-State Sugar Bowl. During the holiday break, over 30 teachers had the opportunity to ride in the New Year's Eve parade, and boy, did they have a blast. In addition, we had over 60 teachers attend the All-State Sugar Bowl game. Out of the 60, 11 teachers received a $1,000 gift card to purchase needed supplies to enhance the learning experiences for their students. Thank you, All-State Sugar Bowl, for your commitment to NOLA's teachers.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood, home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check, look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood, home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check, look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Our number is 504-582-9422. Question of the day, and got the stats. We'll get those stats in just a minute, give you some insight, but got to ask the question. Do you want to know what's in the JFK or MLK files? That's a yes or no. You can go on our Facebook page live and take the poll right now. What you say, Reverend Wallace?
I am 100% in compliance with revealing it. Those saying no lie will last forever. I believe that Johnson had something to do with Kennedy, and Nixon had something to do with it. Right after that, they spoke. It's so much happened, even with Hill Bob's dead after that, because he didn't want to go along with the commission report. It's so much. And then Dr. King, the way he died, I mean, it's some of the leadership that was around him that betrayed him.
Wasn't it supposed to be something about the mafia here in New Orleans with JFK?
Yeah, with Clay Shaw and Higgins and Garrison. Garrison was getting out some ties with Giancana not Giancana, the guy from Florida. I can't call his name. Escape my name. It's the mafia guy from Florida. But Tropicante. He's Cuban. He's had a Cuban tie. So there's a lot of stuff that our government covered up, and some of the people that still was in office had their hand with blood on it, even with Dr. King. Some of them we call leaders of our civil rights, and they wrote books and everything, but they had blood on their hand. They were just like they say, they were trading information to Hoover. I mean, that homosexual was getting all kind of information, you know, and that was a homosexual. He was a liquor. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
And so he's in hell now. If anybody in hell, you can put Hoover in hell. I authorize you to put him here. That lollipop sucker, he in hell. So, but we need to know the truth, and that way we can always know what type of government we always had and the type of government we got now. Even with Malcolm, you know, we'll find out how holy some of them brothers was. With that, they sure did that to Malcolm X. You understand? So the rug's being pulled off and the curtain's coming down. So we're going to find the truth out about a lot of stuff. I'm for Donald Trump. Expose it. Rather let it hot.
I never
Back
thought
that thing up.
I never thought I hear you say that you was with Donald Trump. Expose it.
I'm with him exposing that. I concur with him on that. Go in, pull that curtain behind all them thieves they got up there.
So here's a question that with that, what you just said, do you think that they will fully expose it, or do you think it's going to be redacted?
I would know a little bit more than what I ever knew. Even if it was a lie, somebody going to suffer for that lie. It's been a lie all this time, so what the heck? I mean, they might have me as one of the culprits. I don't know.
Yes, indeed.
But I'll ask them, look, bring them pork chops first before you electrocute.
Bring the pork chops. There you go.
All right, Jeff. All right.
Thank you, Ram. Talk to you in a minute. All right, Ty, what you say?
How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. Look, I'm not. I think the motive behind it is what bothers me. And it's two-part for me. The motive behind him doing it, because you're talking about a man that wants to release the documentation, but you've never released your full medical records. Like nobody, all the information that you know every other president had to present or release, you're not doing, but you're willing to release the documents on Martin Luther King Jr. and John F. Kennedy. Like it doesn't make sense to me. And another reason why I say I'm not in favor of it, because we already have a lack of Black history in our community, like meaning that the information, because the young folks, I mean, they really a lot of them don't know. You know, you can ask them questions and they don't know. And this to me is a catalyst for them to not want to know. Because regardless to what happened, there is, let me say something, and it may be an unpopular opinion, but I really don't care. The most flawed men stand behind the pulpit. Period. You know what I'm saying? So nobody, you know, like they say, you have to listen to the message. It may be coming from a flawed place or a flawed person rather, but you know, it is what it is. There's no person walking this earth that is perfect.
I was going to say the same thing, though, Ty, but ain't everybody flawed? No, nobody's perfect. Everybody got some flaws.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And I
so
think what we
regardless
gotta
of what
do
it
is,
was,
But you got to remember, a lot of us treat man like they the God.
Right, exactly.
And I think what we got to really start doing is delivering the message that stop treating these men in leadership positions as if they were God. They are messengers, and that's it.
I agree.
That's all.
I absolutely agree. And to me, that's where a lot of people's issue comes from, is that, they put him so high on a pedestal. I've never, ever in my life looked at Martin Luther King Jr. as if he was above God, that he was this perfect man. Never. None of them. None of the leaders. I mean, of course, I took the message for what it was. And it was messages that was needed at the time. So does that negate his work? It does not.
No.
It
not
does
at all.
not. And that's
because no matter how you feel about it, he was out front. He was the leader.
Right.
And he would get hit with those water cannons and beat with billy clubs just like everybody else.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying it doesn't matter to me. I think the impetus behind him doing it, we all know what that is. You know, he's also going down the route of, we don't want Black History Month. We don't want this. Yes, because at the end of the day, you don't want to know anything about Black folks' greatness. The Tuskegee Airmen. How are you trying to erase that history?
Mm-hmm.
But I charge us. That is our lot.
Right.
That's our lot to keep teaching this.
Do you think that there's getting ready to be something about Black History Month, getting rid of it or something?
Yeah, I think that he's just, at this point, we're not even, this has been the longest 20-something days of my life. I mean, because it seems like every day is something else. But yeah, it's so funny to me how they're so focused on these two words, DEI, or the acronym DEI, and woke, and have no clue what neither one of them mean. But we know what their impetus is behind it. It's to eliminate us. It's to eliminate the fact that I can even say eliminate, but just the simple fact, that we had a part to play in this country. We built this.
Right.
Our ancestors built this on our backs while y'all sat y'all lazy ASSES down, you know what I'm saying, and wanted to dictate. But you want to erase the very people that created the fact, and even down to Native American people. Now that's a question. Want to know if they actually have birthright citizenship? Man, come on. But we're just in a horrible, horrible place. In this country. I don't know if anything can ever be done about it, but it's really sad. And like I said, our lot as Black people is to keep the legacy going, teaching our, the younger generation as who we are and who they are.
So do you want to know what's in those files?
I don't. I really don't care because, like I said, it doesn't negate his work. It doesn't negate neither one of them, whether we're talking about John F. Kennedy or whomever. Hoover, I heard the guy mentioned, I don't, that all of that, I'm not here to profess who's in heaven, who's in hell, and this, that, and the other, because that's neither here nor there, but at the end of the day, the government in and of itself, we will never, ever, even to this day, as of yesterday with the plane crash, we will never know the exact, things that go on. It's always smoke and mirror. We'll never know the truth. So why reveal this if you're not going to reveal it all?
And why so long? Why should it take so long? If you're going to reveal those, then how many Black leaders?
Let's do this.
If you're going to reveal
let's
those,
reveal Marilyn Monroe.
I want you also to reveal what happened to Malcolm X. I want to know what happened to Medgar Evers. I want to know what happened to Fred Hampton. I want to know the entire story about who those folks were that killed them. Who are they? Was that the FBI? Was that the CIA? Was that a government entity that we just don't know about? And don't even forget about those men and women from MOVE when we start talking about Philadelphia when they bombed the MOVE building and ended up blowing up that whole what three
the
block
whole
radius?
complex.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But that's why I say if you really, if you want to be, if it's about fairness across the board, let's say, okay, and you're focusing on, like you said, everything that you just mentioned. But if we really want to light everything on fire, let's release all the files on Marilyn Monroe.
Well, that's a whole nother story.
And that's my point. But that's my point. You see what I'm saying? So the impetus behind what you're doing is very obvious. But if you really just wanted everything to be transparent, hey, that would be one hell of a report to release.
Because
Because that would implicate so many people.
There's a whole lot of booty in that kind of report, though. That's some
Exactly, but I'm saying that because understand that you're releasing what you're releasing about Martin Luther King and his the things that he was doing.
There's too much booty in that kind of report. I don't know if we could stand
Yeah,
that
that's
much.
like the brothel report down here. Look what happened there.
Everybody. Ooh, Lord, you done went way left on that one. The brothel
I mean,
report.
hey, you're talking about his felonious affairs and all of this. Hey, what about what all of them were doing? Let's release all the orgy reports.
And who was involved?
Exactly. But you're not going to do that because, hey, that doesn't fit your narrative.
They hit that report real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Didn't the lady get killed?
From here, with the brothel, yep.
Yeah, with the brothel report. She got killed. Somebody killed her.
Yeah, them David Vitters and all of them people that boy, those heads were rolling. But yeah, she lost her life.
I think the same thing gonna happen to Diddy. I hate to say it that way because you don't want to wish nothing on anybody. I don't care who they are like that. But too many folks with too many names, too much power. They're scared right now that Diddy gonna try to turn and let them know who's involved in this trafficking issue. And you're gonna find out.
Oh yeah, he's not going down by himself.
No, you're gonna find out one day that Diddy done hung himself in one of the jail cells.
Yeah, they're gonna Jeffrey Epstein him.
Yep. That's
I agree.
a damn shame that you got to make that type of reference. They're gonna Jeffrey Epstein you. Keep on. Yes, indeed. But yeah, I mean, somebody got to fall on the sword.
Yep.
Who will it be?
That's why they say be careful. Be careful of the lanes you travel in this life, because sometimes you got to make a U-turn.
Yep. So it's coming. It's coming.
I agree.
All right. So your answer is no. You don't want to know.
My answer is no because it doesn't negate the work.
I got you. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you much, Ty.
All right. Yeah. Have a good one.
All right.
So I feel Ty. I feel where she's coming from. But I feel, this is one of them situations where, number one, I don't feel like there's going to be any news in these files that we don't already know, right? We may not know that. We may not know concretely that it happened, but it's all stuff that we knew, right? We all knew that Dr. King was messing around. That information's been out there. That's not going to be anything new.
Look, when you in the limelight, this gonna sound terrible. When you in the limelight, it come running at you.
Right. So so what I'm saying is
with no draws.
Right. But so this is what I'm saying, right? I think, like Ty said, she's worried about the reasoning behind this, right? And I think that the Dr. King files are a slander propaganda, a slander move, right? To try and tarnish, to try and tarnish Dr. King's name, right? Like, hey, all y'all been looking up to him like this for so long, right?
So you don't want to know?
No.
You won't know.
It really doesn't matter to me because that question is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
That question to me is irrelevant.
You just don't want to tarnish
the second.
work.
No, because I didn't finish. Right. So here's the thing. I think that it's a smear campaign, but I think it's gonna wind up backfiring. Because here's the thing. One thing that I know about us as a people, right? Not everybody. Some of us who have a certain level of wokeness, right? We don't look at things blindfolded, right? There's a high percentage of people who want to continue believing that Dr. King was a saint.
Okay.
Right? I believe that that's a problem in our community, that we want to find a leader to blindly look at like he is the savior, instead of looking at the person like he's a person who has a good idea, who can help get us in the right direction. That's two totally different mindsets. And until we step away from just blindly believing that someone has to be 100% perfect, has to be Jesus to get us out of a position to stand behind, we will never move forward, because that's the essence of where our finger pointing and our "you're not the person for the job, I don't trust you, I don't believe in you" comes from. Because we're looking for someone to be perfect. And until we get past that, we'll never be able to get ourselves out of the situation that we're in. We put people on a pedestal too much.
Everybody puts somebody on a pedestal.
But they don't have to be put on a pedestal.
I didn't say they had to be.
I know.
I'm
but
saying
there's
we
a
all
lot.
do.
Huh?
We all do put somebody on a pedestal.
All right.
Everybody
So
does.
hold on. Let me rephrase this. There's nothing wrong with putting someone on a pedestal. Just don't act like the person that's on the pedestal has to be Jesus. What's your girl name? The nun.
You talking about the sister?
Yeah.
If you ain't asked me, I tell you.
Only because I'm trying to figure it out right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A leader, a good leader, does not have to be that.
So
I'm not saying that good leader has to be a scumbag.
all right. So if you're human,
Yep.
Brandon says Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa, right?
If you're human, you're gonna make a mistake.
Yep.
If you got blood running through your veins, you're gonna make a bad decision.
Yep.
Only thing you can do, just like Jimmy Swaggart, and I hate to use him as an example, just like other folks. I mean, even folks that believed in Al Sharpton at one point came out and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, Al Sharpton is an FBI informant and proved it," and so that tore down the leadership with him a little bit. But anybody and everybody is going to make a mistake. I believe what Ty said. It don't have nothing to do with how many mistakes I made. If I made a mistake, I got to be big enough and be the man enough to say I made a mistake
And own it.
and own it.
That's the part that makes you a better leader than.
But I'm with Ty when she said, "No, I don't want to know." And the reason I don't want to know is because it ain't about the person to me. It's about what that person did as the work that he did and leading people. Being a leader is tough because you're going to have those that believe in you. You're going to have those that don't believe in you in the decision making. And then you're going to have the jealous ones that are going to be there. The ones that, if you ever watch the movie, and I always use this as a reference, and that reference is the 300, the movie about the Spartans. If you ever watch the 300, you will understand that they had an army of over 10,000, but yet didn't want, what was that, Spartacus? What was his name? I think it was Spartacus. To take them to war, to save them so that they would not have to be a part of another group of folks. Because they were like, well, this is going to take down our troops. We just should surrender and give ourselves to another group of folks. And Spartacus was like, well, we're Spartans. We're not scared of anyone. And he took 300 of his men and fought to the death and were killing and winning. 300 men were killing and winning against this army of thousands. And then when his men saw what was going on, then they came. So my adventurous leadership qualities ain't nowhere near that. But I will lead. But I always get those folks to say, who made you the leader? But you won't step up and go. You won't do it. Somebody has to. So what do you end up doing? You end up fighting the folks that's trying to put their foot on your neck. You end up trying to fight the folks that think that they should be the leader and you ain't the leader. And then you got to fight the folks that's going back and telling the folks that's got their foot on your neck what you doing. Okay. I got that off my chest. You want to take the break? All right. James, hold on. We coming back. More, y'all, at 504-582-9422. Get your thoughts in.
Answer the poll because I'm about to reset it for question number 2.
Oh, you got another. Oh, what's the poll? Because I don't have the numbers up yet.
Okay, the numbers for this one is.
This is do you want to know about the JFK and MLK files?
At this point, it is 64% yes, 34% no. Oh, it just changed. 39% no, 61% yes.
And understand something. Some of those folks just want to know. Just want to know. Not for any other reason except I'm being nosy. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets, we've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow us at WBOK 1230 now.
NOLA Public Schools' main round enrollment for kindergarten through 12th grade is now open. With 73 schools available through the NOLA Public Schools Common Application Process, or NCAP, finding the right school fit for your family is easier than ever. List up to 12 choices to maximize your chances and apply by January 24th. We're all in, and we hope you are too. Apply today at enrollnolaps.com. That's enrollnolaps.com.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Jazz got a question. When you talk about leadership, individual or committee?
Wait, say that again.
When you talk about leadership, should it be individual or should it be committee?
I think different situations call for different solutions. So,
man, come on. Individual or committee? Stick with it. Which one?
that's a tough question, bro.
All right.
Because it depends on the
It's not
situation.
tough. You making it tough.
No,
Yeah.
because here's the thing. I could easily say individual in a situation where it needs to be a group.
Okay, give me a for instance.
That's too hypothetical.
T, Brad, come on. Man.
That's too hypothetical. That's why I say I need to know the situation. Okay. Let's take the civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That should not have been individual.
Why?
For the reason that it happened. For the out,
I could have killed all of it. I could have killed anybody.
Oh yeah, no. Someone was gonna, no. Let's not get this straight. This is not trying to avoid the assassination. You know, this is just trying to
But
avoid
no, I'm saying you said the individual. It should not have been that way because of the
outcome. And
Well,
I'm
are you talking about the assassination?
No, I'm
What you
talking.
talking about?
I'm talking about the long game of what they was trying to fight of trying to fight
They made some good-
segregation.
Yeah, they made some good progress.
No, they
right?
did, but
Okay.
the long game is we still being affected by it.
So let me tell you why I pause. Let me tell you why I pause. Because the gains, what happened out of that was supposedly we solved the problems and we let it slip.
Which
was committee. Wasn't the individual.
Okay, well, no, I understand.
It was the committee.
I understand, but this is why I think we let it slip because the individual got knocked off and it shook everybody else.
So now I'm gonna use my geese and duck issue. And my geese, when geese fly to the north for change of weather, they fly in that V.
Right.
They got one leader.
Right.
Everybody else follows behind. When that goose that's in the front gets tired, he moves back, and the goose that's behind him moves forward and leads the way. We need to have that mentality. If a goose knows how to lead and knows what to do when I'm tired, I can't do it no more, I need somebody to step up. That goose behind the leader steps up. What happens to us? We go committee? I just need a leader.
All right. So I understand where you're coming from, but I look at that formation that the geese are flying in as a committee.
As a committee. So that one person is leading the committee.
The committee, yes.
So I don't need the committee to tell the leader. The leader has to tell the committee.
Right.
Because there should be a level of, in any corporation or any type of.
Yeah. No. So
there's always the CEO.
Yeah. No. So let me be clear, and I'm with you. There should be a leader, right?
Yes.
But in this situation, it was the civil rights movement, but it was Dr. King.
So, yes, because
and that's my problem.
King came here to form the Southern Christian leadership at Dookie Chase. Okay, he formed an organization of pastors, and one thing that we know, especially about the black community, is that we got churches everywhere. We got churches almost on every corner here. So, who does the pastor talk to? More families than any other organization in our community.
WBOK.
And your mic on. So we got all these different organizations that have no connection with the black community at all. But the church did. And I really feel that the church kind of went away because somebody knew that getting to us was through the church. We then started demonizing pastors. We kept saying they're the womanizer, going into churches and taking our money. We saw men leaving the church. There is a whole lot that went on in the church. Some of the folks got jealous because the pastor driving a new car and you walking or taking a bus.
The church itself probably need its own CIA file.
Which I don't know, because we probably run everybody else away from the church too. But just like any other church or any other nationality in that church, ethnicity in the church, black folks then started expanding. We started seeing Christianity where we stopped going to the black church. We started going to the neighborhood church. And you got black, whites, and other ethnicities. Then we started seeing other denominations coming up. Well, you Baptist? Yeah, well, I'm Kojic. You Kojic? Yeah, well, I'm full gospel. You full gospel? Yeah, well, I'm Lutheran. You Lutheran? Yeah, I'm just African-American, AME. African-American Methodist. So I'm thinking to myself, we have divided ourselves so much that the one entity of blackness that we had that was the leader in our own mindset was the church. If you go to New Orleans East right now, the majority of black folks that are in the East on a Sunday morning would be mind-boggling, because we got more major churches in New Orleans East than any other part of town. So you'd be surprised on the amount of money, on the amount of movement that could happen on a Sunday morning when you got thousands of people that go that I-10 route and get off on Crowder, Reed, and Bullard. You go out there, you got to remember something. Just right there off between Reed and Crowder, you got at least two major churches out there. You got a $34 million church out there. You got that big old, what was that, service merchandise that you have out there that used to be service merchandise. You got all those big old churches, and they full. So you can't tell me that folks ain't going to church. And I'm just talking about here. I'm not even talking about other places. But our eyes have led us away from the church because we got too big. Oh, I don't like how big it is. I hate how big it is. I want to go back to where it used to be small. But I'm telling you, if you need to make some movement, you need collectives. But check this out. Now, this is just me talking, Jazz. I want you to think about this one for a minute. And I want everybody to call in and tell me this. Imagine this. This is big pie in the sky. Imagine if Fred Luter at Franklin Avenue, Pastor Barrier over at Household, Pastor Robinson, Bishop Robinson over at Greater St. Stephen's. You got Cornerstone out there. You got Upper Room. You got all these black churches that have thousands of people that are membership. They go there every Sunday. Imagine if the leadership of those churches stood up on a Sunday morning and said, I need everybody to meet me at the top of Canal Street, and we're going to protest that we want our streets fixed. We want something else done. We want this done. Imagine if all them black folks showed up to show leadership in this city that they need to change stuff. Can you imagine what would get changed? If they gave them a deadline? Did you hear them this week tell us that 500 projects in New Orleans got done for the Super Bowl? What? 500 projects got done in this city just for the Super Bowl. I want it done because I live here and I pay taxes, not because of some damn game. Because what you gonna do when they leave? Okay, I'm finished now. James.
Hello.
What's going on with your big money?
That what you talking?
Say again, your phone broke up.
And I said that's what you talking about. It's called a coalition.
Yep.
And my neighbor told me that that's how the Big Duckman was able to pull off all the stuff they was able to pull off. So that coalition, in essence, would still work today, but the disruption came because we can no longer trust the leadership. Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, working for them people, supposed to be working for us, but they work for the folks. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we know that a Fred Luter and the rest of them cats you name won't turn tail and do the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
And from what I'm gathering or was hearing in the wind, is almost like they're trying to see or sully the fact that MLK was a government plant, you know, but he started speaking too much truth to power, and saw the crowd really engaging in what he was talking about, and so, oh no, we can't have this. He got to go, you know. But I'm not. Don't quote me on that one. That's like I said. I'm hearing that in the wind, and that's the paperwork that's gonna be released. Never mind that this man was harassed for being an imperfect being, like you said. Never mind that this man stood for something and fell for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this is what we want to do. This is how they do it. They rewrite our history, give it back to us in a bastardized form, and we take it and we run with it. And our leaders tend to falter at the massacre of the individual that we designate as a leader. So, you know, I see what you're saying, but you know, I wish those church groups would come out and say, meet me down here and let's do our own ballot in the city, across the city. And then let's get with our brethren in the country, or what I'm doing air quotes now, what we call the country. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe our people stupid and sick with that shit. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We always like to look at our rural brethren and they dislike us and we don't like them because we think we the big city and they think the big city think it's too much, and you know what, for whatever reason we gotta get with our country folk and talk to them, our brothers in the country, and talk to them and figure out what their needs are and how we could get them to vote on the same agenda or line. So, you know, I hear you. Coalition is an excellent way to get things done. But there's got to be a whole lot of bravery and selflessness involved in that as well.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to say, you said it before the last break, release that Epstein list. Don't go talk about these, man. You know, all the information is already out there. We already know about COINTELPRO. We already know about the government plant inside the Nation of Islam. We know that.
Yep.
We know that already.
Right.
Only people who might not know that is white folks, because y'all heard it from them. But we know that. So what you telling us for? Talk about Epstein, man. I want to know what happened with Epstein. Where all that money went off that island? Where that cashier information at off that island? Where them children at?
Right.
Where them people at?
Right.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Bro.
Yep, there you go. All right, James.
All right.
Thank you, brother. Let's go West Bay. Mac. Did we lose Mac? We ain't supposed to lose Mac. Mac, call me back. I think I made a rhyme, bro. I think I made a rhyme. West Bay Mac, call me back. Kevin.
Hey, man, thank y'all for what y'all do, man. Y'all trying. Look, and nobody else, we don't get this conversation. I don't know if everybody noticed, but we're not getting these kind of conversations nowhere else, at least in the local area. And quite frankly, I don't see too much of that nationally. The bottom line is this. We've talked about the problem. First of all, I'm not going to say nothing new. Okay. This is always the story. The bottom line is this. America was built on a faulty premise when it comes to African Americans being included into the citizenry of this country. It hasn't changed. Okay? Look, if it looks like a duck and acts like a duck, it's a duck. If our leadership that we're talking about, all these big churches, all these smart, intelligent black folks, if they aren't coming up with any type of unification solutions after 400 years of this, except episodically with the civil rights movement and what we did here in New Orleans, the bottom line is this is all about. It's really not about black and white, quite frankly. That's just subterfuge to confuse us
and get us off the real issue. And the real issue is power, control, and it's almost not about money, quite frankly. They print that like they could print more of that stuff than you can even use, quite frankly. It's really about power and control. Because if you control the mind, like Funkadelic said, the butt will follow. Okay? They control it through the media. Look, everybody needs to read Neely Fuller Jr. That's the baddest man on the planet. Okay, he's old school, kind of dated the way his presentation, but his concept is universally always working. It's the same. It's physics. It's math. Okay, the bottom line is this: this is about money, and until we quit looking for a leader, we already see the history of that. It's like if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. We see when we have a leader, they crucify him from Jesus Christ all the way down to Obama. Trump just said Obama caused the plane accident. This happened yesterday. So these people, racism and white supremacy is a subterfuge, but they use it to distract us, and it's real in that sense. But look, we got to quit looking for a leader because all of us different. That's why Africans were so easy to enslave. We came from different cultures in Africa, different. We different. We different here in America too. Why all white folks are different, all black folks not the same. Okay, and all people in a certain economic demographic gonna suffer the same consequence. I don't care what color you are. And it's clearly America is lawless. Trump is the president, a serial felon. He's basically playing racism, white supremacy to the hilt to distract our attention from. We need to start teaching each other how to earn money. We just said 1,000 projects got done because of the Super Bowl. You do realize that's because that was about money, right? Okay? So, and I'm not mad at them. The bottom line is this. It's like a drug addict. If you don't accept the fact that you're a drug addict, you'll never fix it. If you don't accept the fact that how things work, you'll never fix the problem. And it's about money and power. And it's not about one leader. I think all of us have to be taught, because that's basically what's happening here. They're keeping all of us ignorant. Okay? If we don't teach each other how entrepreneurialism and how that applies to controlling the quality of our lives in small projects, you don't need to get with me. Get with people like you. The bottom line is we have a common circumstance that we're all affected by, whether we like it or not. Racism, white supremacy, rule supreme for us, distracting us. So I don't care how successful you are as a black, or how poor you are as a black, or a poor white, quite frankly, because they're really falling in the same category. Until we start teaching the population, educating the population on how to navigate through the systems that society has in place, we'll never get out of our way of ignorance.
All right, Kevin. Let me take some more calls. Appreciate you, dog.
Thank you.
All right. Ooh. So wait a minute before I take this next call.
That's also the new question, though.
What? You changed it?
Part 2.
Do you think the files will reveal anything new and shocking? I don't think that they will reveal anything new and shocking. I think there's going to be some. Well, you know what? I do think so. I do think there'll be some shocking stuff in there to demean and take down the popularity. I bet you if you run popularity polls between Trump and MLK will come out on top as far as leadership is concerned. Even though he's been dead for how long? Since the 60s? The 70s? How long has MLK been? Hold on, let me pull it up. His what date? And we know he got killed a day in Memphis, Tennessee. 68?
68.
But I bet you if you run from 68 on to 25, I bet you the popularity of MLK is still very much high compared to Trump. I guarantee you. Now, I do want to throw this out here because I was listening to Kevin and something that Kevin said. And I do think that leadership is through someone. And I think that committee has to follow. Even if you look at corporations have that same mindset, which is CEO. And then the committee follows. Or they try to make the decision on what the CEO wants to do next to enhance what that CEO has in mind. But as I look at the church, I want everybody to understand something under my name, under your name, under everybody's name. There has never been a movement that worked under black folks unless the head of that movement was a pastor. What you trying to talk about?
I think that kind of lends to my point.
There's never been a movement in the
Why?
black community.
Why?
Because
OG?
black pastors have always been that leader in our mindset.
Is it that?
Not Jesus?
No.
But the leader.
Right. But is it that the pastors are the leader, or is it that our people look to our spiritual leaders who are supposed to be good men to be our leaders?
What's wrong with that? Good men?
No. I don't have no problem with that.
No, but you did like that, so I'm trying to figure out why.
Because
I was trying to figure out what you meant.
Because my question is, if we're constantly turning to the pastors for this, are we turning to the pastors to be our leaders because they are our religious leaders, or because they are our leaders in general?
I think that if you look at, and this is what I feel like in society, in our society, when we're looking for African American, and I'm going to just say men, I'm not even going to use this, it might sound a little chauvinist to the women, I'm sorry. But in our community, there is no other black man that has the numbers of people that he talks to, preaches to, is supposed to give you spirituality on a weekly basis.
Right.
There is nobody
And
else.
I understand that. And once again, this is what I feel is the problem, because we're constantly put in the position to look to our leaders, like our political leaders, as our religious leaders. And that's complicated, because now you're looking at your leader to be holy. You're expecting him to be.
But I think the political leaders look for him too. I don't think that the spiritual leader looks for the political leader.
No,
I think
what I'm
that's
saying,
backwards. I
what
think
I'm
the
saying,
political
no,
person
what I'm
looks for the
saying is the
spiritual person.
people are now looking to our political leaders to be spiritually.
You think that?
We keep going to our pastors. If you keep going to your pastor to be the leader, then that says something else about the mind frame of the people that's
Okay,
looking
so I'm
for your
confused
pastor
with what you're saying. Are you saying that we're looking for the political leader or
to be the pastors.
No.
Which is causing a problem, because now we're looking at our political leaders like they're supposed to be.
How so, Jazz? How you put that together? I don't understand.
There's a big stink. There was a whole big. Okay, if you talk bad about Martin Luther King, before all of this news came out, oh, you this, oh, you can't believe you're talking about Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was a man. If we eliminated the situation of looking at our political leaders as our religious leaders, they wouldn't be on that pedestal. We keep putting our political leaders on our religious leader pedestal, which causes a problem.
I don't see that one.
Why doesn't anybody believe in Reverend Al Sharpton anymore?
Because
why doesn't
because
anybody
of
believe
his-
in Jesse Jackson anymore?
Well, Jesse Jackson got Alzheimer's, bro. I mean, he
But
got,
what I'm saying
sorry,
is
ALS.
this happened before that. This happened.
And then of course there
Yes,
was
you don't see you don't
takedown of Jesse with the womanizing the sons.
We keep
and all of
putting
that.
our reverends in the spot of political power. And as soon as they tear down
no
the
matter how you look at
reverendism,
this, all our reverends in the past, Jess, that's what I'm trying to tell you. All the reverends in the past, no matter how you look at it, have always had political power. You can't separate.
I'm not talking about political power. I'm talking about being the political leader, because now
That's
you have
political
yes,
leader,
because
political
now
power,
because
same,
now
that's
you
the
have to
difference.
be squeaky clean. Now you have to be squeaky clean.
The white
and
man
as
ain't
soon
squeaky clean.
yes,
he
but
is.
they are not looking for their leaders to be squeaky clean. We the only people that as soon as our leaders have a little bit of dirt on them, everything goes haywire. If you stop looking for your political leaders to be squeaky clean,
I just think that what we got to do is look at the subject matter and stop looking at the person. The person has to have some good common sense to be able to lead. And if it has the formula, if it has the, I would say the topic in which you want to move forward to, and you can lead, it's just the same way as you're telling the people, don't ride the damn bus because they took Rosa Parks off of it and they arrested her. Don't ride the bus. Hurt him in the pocket. And everybody that was black did what? Started walking. I'm going to hurt you in your pocket because it's us that takes care of the transportation system here. But who benefited? Who was driving the buses? Where do we have to go? To the back of the bus. That got changed. Why? Because one of our political leaders, that was a reverend, said, let's do it this way. You can't separate the two.
once again, you're missing my point. My point
I'm
is
not missing your point.
the people are putting an unfair expectation
That's learned
on the
behavior,
leaders.
though, Jazz.
And that's what I'm saying. That learned behavior is stopping us from being able to gel as a people, because as soon as something goes wrong with the leader, we jump ship.
People do what they want to do. And the reason I'm telling you that, and I disagree with it, is because there's nobody as far as leadership that is coming forth and say, you know they're getting ready to try to take me down. You know they're getting ready to put all this stuff on me. Y'all need to be ready for it. We got to take a break. More coming up, y'all.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. A horrific midair collision over Washington, D.C. late Wednesday night has presumably left 67 people dead, including U.S. and Russian figure skating champions and 3 U.S. service members. American Eagle Flight 5342, carrying 64 passengers from Wichita, Kansas, collided with the military Black Hawk helicopter near Reagan Airport, sending both aircraft plunging into the icy Potomac River. Over 300 emergency crews arrived within minutes, but the devastation is overwhelming. At least 28 bodies have been pulled from the river so far, but officials say they don't expect any survivors. Among the victims were top figure skaters returning from a prestigious training camp. U.S. Figure Skating called the tragedy unspeakable and vowed to support the families. Meanwhile, Senator Tim Kaine is demanding answers, calling Reagan National's congestion a long-standing safety concern. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
So, just how chaotic is the Trump White House? Well, let me count the ways. To be sure, there's an unbridled power grab, shooting from the hip, poor judgment, lawlessness, and challenging the U.S. Constitution. The most egregious act by President Trump so far is his pardons of the January 6 rioters who stormed the nation's capital in an attempt to stop the peaceful transfer of power. Specifically, they tried to stop Congress from ratifying the election of President Joe Biden. Many people were hurt in that violent attack, including 174 police officers. There were several deaths attributed to the mob attack by Trump supporters. Even some Republicans pushed back against Trump's move to issue pardons for the 1,500 criminal defendants, and especially for those convicted of committing violence against police officers. After all, the GOP is reputed to be the party of law and order, aren't they? Still, there's an entirely eerie silence among the majority of the Republicans on Capitol Hill when it comes to the questionable actions by President Trump, many of them resorting to mental gymnastics to validate Mr. Trump's decisions. That has not been the case for the judiciary. Recently, a federal judge placed a stop on the president's executive order to temporarily freeze federal grant funds that were meant to help the people. The action to freeze those funds caused chaos and confusion for cities and states that depend on the money to fund public programs that, again, I mentioned, help the people, all people, Trump supporters included. The Trump administration has backed off its intent to freeze federal financial assistance, except in cases where the money is intended for DEI, climate change, and so-called woke ideology. The White House contends the issue is simply an attempt to bring federal spending under control. The president's critics opine that the issue is simply about a would-be authoritarian trying to shape the country in his image. Democracy and the Constitution be damned. I'm not surprised. I'm afraid, folks, this is just the beginning of a long 4 years as the president takes his win as a mandate to demolish programs that took years to develop. So let's face the naked truth. The man who would be king is an unapologetic, unguided missile from which not even Trump supporters are safe. How about that? This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
I'm Dr. Keith C. Ferdinand, cardiologist and professor of medicine at Tulane University here in New Orleans. I tell all of my patients to get the flu vaccine. Why? Because the same patients who are at risk for heart disease, obesity, hypertension, diabetes, chronic kidney disease are at risk of getting sick and even dying with the flu. Protect your health. Be flu ready NOLA, y'all. For more information, visit healthyheartcpp.org.
Hello, I am Bishop Fred A. Caldwell Sr., host of the Know Your Bible International radio broadcast, which is heard here on WBOK 1230 a.m. each Sunday morning at 8 o'clock a.m. So join me here for a blessing, won't you?
From the East Bank to the West Bank, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK 1230 a.m.
WBOK 1230 a.m. New Orleans, home of the Reality Check, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know with BIN News. 67 people are feared dead after an American Airlines plane and a Black Hawk chopper collided near D.C. last night. Recovery efforts are underway. President Trump is calling it a moment of national anguish. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams' attorney asked the Department of Justice to drop his corruption case, a common move for high-profile clients. However, NBC reports no sign prosecutors will comply. Texas Attorney General is targeting Costco's DEI policies, demanding their repeal. This follows Trump's push against, quote, woke programs, end quote. Costco defended its stance, calling DEI, quote, rooted in respect and inclusion, end quote. And Magic Johnson is urging Palisades and Eaton fire victims to report fraud. He, Dodgers chair Mark Walter, and LA 28's Casey Wasserman are leading private fundraising for recovery with an initial $100 million pledge from Walter and related foundations. I'm Amber Payton on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
New Schools for New Orleans wants to send a special shout out to our partner, the All-State Sugar Bowl. During the holiday break, over 30 teachers had the opportunity to ride in the New Year's Eve parade, and boy, did they have a blast. In addition, we had over 60 teachers attend the All-State Sugar Bowl game. Out of the 60, 11 teachers received a $1,000 gift card to purchase needed supplies to enhance the learning experiences for their students. Thank you, All-State Sugar Bowl, for your commitment to NOLA's teachers.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. T-Bone, you've been holding, brother. What you say?
Hey, y'all. I'm going to try to not keep it political because I'm going to keep up with what I gave as my word when Trump won. Okay. But I will speak on those files that are going to be released. Here's the thing. Like y'all said earlier, black folks will not be surprised who was involved if it was federal law enforcement agencies, because we've known that for a long time. That's not going to shock us, but that's not even why he's doing it. He's doing it to degrade those federal law enforcement agencies so he'll have a chance to have a blank check to throw them out too, because those were the main ones he was up against when he was on federal charges. Stop going for the okie doke. Matter of fact, let me kick it like this. I'm going to take you back to Ice Cube back in the days. A message for the okie dokes. Stop worrying about what you think you're going to get and examine what's happening. Let me repeat that. Stop looking for what you're going to get and examine what's really happening. And here's what I mean by that. All those black folks, and I'm going to keep calling you out because I know that you damn did it. He did get some black votes, which he shouldn't have gotten any. Because you voted for him, you thought, oh, he going to get all these immigrants out here and we're going to get our jobs back. Or we're going to get our money back. And that is a distraction. He didn't care about how you felt about your jobs. As a matter of fact, he's showing you by using the term DEI. What he really wants to say is affirmative action and all those civil rights programs and voting rights, because, see, that's what he's really coming for next. See, that's the politics of it. I'm going to leave it at that. But I think those of you that thought you were being smart in voting for Trump really need to Google that Project 2025, because he is playing that book. Mm-hmm. This very station, this very host, read it on the air. You still didn't want to hear it. Biden dropped out. Harris got put in there. You still didn't want to hear it. Y'all made this woman go to the barber shop and talk to real black dudes about the issues, while this clown was talking about another man's junk. And you voted for that.
Talking about, what's his name, Arnold Palmer?
What did you expect? Mm-hmm. This is a human being, a so-called human being, who is trying to blame a tragic, deadly airplane crash on DEI. Translation, black people. He thinks there were black people in a control tower playing spades, drinking 40s, and making these two aircrafts crash.
Mm-hmm.
How are you not offended by it? How do you not see that?
Yeah, he did blame it on DEI. He did. So.
That's what he mean. That's what all of them mean when they say DEI now. That's their new term.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say woke, they're talking about the LGBTQ community. Okay? Now, here's the people issue of it, y'all. Are you ready for this?
All right, go ahead.
He reopened Guantanamo Bay to be used for deportation
of migrants
and incarceration purposes.
Yep.
Who else you think he's looking to put up in there besides those immigrants? Come on now. Stop being the okie doke.
All right.
We are smart, strong people.
Yep.
We should know better. And I'm saying we because as a race, I thought we were better than this. We were smarter than this. No, but you got some people saying, oh, I don't want a woman in charge. Oh, I don't like Kamala Harris. How do you like Trump now? And you know what else I'm going to ask you? How much you paying for your eggs? On a news report right after the election, people in Pennsylvania reported that they didn't like the price of their eggs going up. And that was why they voted for Trump.
Now, eggs
Yeah, a
$10
report
a
came
dozen
out
now.
today indicating that Biden actually stimulated the economy to the point where he left a good bed for Trump. How much money you think he's spending on these deportation practices? $80 billion. Where do you think he's going to pull the money from?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Forget him calling it woke. I'm telling you, wake up like Spike Lee back in the day.
Right.
Wake up.
Got you. All right, my brother. Let me take these other calls. Appreciate
All
you,
right,
T-Bone.
y'all.
All right. Gary. Gary?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hello, how you doing? Yeah. Yeah, Gerard, everybody's speaking truth today. But I would like to add to, like you were saying, that you want to bring the preachers onto the scene where you may help with the crowd getting things done with the streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And protesting, right? Yeah, I don't think it'll never happen because most of all preachers are the worst thing on this planet because they're telling a lot of lies. Jesus don't exist and the church don't exist, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But I like to say that they can't do anything to protest anything against the government or the state anyway because of their 503. They can't in that contract. They can't go against the government or the state, and they belong to the state due to the 501c3. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. But and another thing, like you said, we need leaders. We need mostly just to check ourselves, check our past, our past history, because we have history way beyond the Bible, and we have history so much that we need to check ourselves and find out where we come from and who we're dealing with on this planet. That's all I want to say, Gerard. Thank you.
Got you. All right, Mr. Harrow. Mr. Harrow?
Yes. How you doing?
What you say? How you doing?
Oh, mercy. I'm sitting here on a cloudy day listening to your callers. And I was in the presence, you covered so much. I was in the presence of Martin Luther King twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Mahalia Jackson's from New Orleans, right?
Yes.
Yeah, one of the last times that I was with him was here in Los Angeles at a Baptist church, and she was opening up for him. We were waiting on him to come. And the place was so crowded until I was in the balcony. The place was so crowded, I said, I need to get out of here before this place collapses. I'm a third generation contractor. But anyway, what black people need is to be educated. That's all you need. You don't need you your own leader. You don't need a leader. But anyway, I've been on Auburn Street. You've probably been there in Atlanta. I've been upstairs where he was born, in the house he was born. And you know, I deal in real estate. I almost bought the house next door, but the woman died. And there are a lot of so-called white people that have gone into Auburn Street, and they live in the houses on Auburn Street in Atlanta. I just wanted to bring that out. But what I'll say, what we need to know who we are, where we come from, and we need to educate the young people. That you educate and they will be all right. Now, when the Democrats lost the election, the day that Biden brought an educated black woman into the White House as a vice president. And what black people don't understand, what so-called white people understand, is racism. And the whole thing, the creep that's in the White House, he is dumb as the all outdoors. And he said he was going to make America great again. And he's trying to do, and they speak in code to each other. And I've said before, you think white people feel superior, but they don't. They feel inferior to you. And they're afraid of the black man. And the creep that's in the White House, he and the other thugs, the governor of Texas, and then you got a couple of boys from Louisiana. They none of them are that bright. None of them are that bright. And education is what you need to know who you are or who you're not. But anyway, and I'm going from one thing to another. I'm getting ready to go deal with some property taxes. But anyway, we had a air controller in our family, and she was so good. You know, I'm originally from Kansas City. They wrote her up, and she's deceased, but they wrote her up in the newspapers. And I'm going to try to get a clip and send it to you. I'll continue to say, black people don't know who they are. And I had my son look up lazy, the definition, a while ago. And it says it's a refusal to think, to act, and to participate in lazy, I'm talking about, in life. So if we, not me, life has been good for me, it's good today, and I'm getting close to becoming a senior citizen. In a few days, I'll be 8. But I hear people talk, well, these preachers. There's some good preachers and some good, totally good for nothing preachers. And I don't want to tell you some of the stuff on the line, but my deceased mother told me, you follow the Bible and you follow the preacher as long as he presents the Bible and goes along with the Bible. If he deviates, cut him loose. Okay. So I suggest that you reach up on the shelf. I've said it before. Get your great grandmother's Bible, dust it off, have a prayer, and learn about who you are, why you are, where you come from, why you're here, and where you're going. But anyway, I'm not prepared to talk to you, but I listen. You're doing you and Jazz and the staff, you're doing a good job. And I'm not just saying it. But anyway, life is good. It should be good for everybody. And you are the leader in your life, in your family. You don't need anybody to lead you. But Martin Luther King was a good man. He made mistakes. And what these other creeps try to do, any black man, they try to bring him down. So anyway, if you don't know why the election was lost, it was because anybody that elevates black people, educated black people, they're gonna get, they're gonna get an 88. So I'm stuttering a little bit.
I got you.
But
all right,
that's the reason you lost the election, is because the black woman, who was actually smarter than the president,
got it,
and the creeps that are in the White House now know nothing. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Mr. Harrell, thank you, sir. So for all of you all that you got that? Yeah. Okay. Yes, it is true that your president blamed the crash on. So I went on ahead and found it for you so we can play it. Make sure you got your Facebook Live on because the reporter from CNN pressed him on that, asking him, why are you blaming this plane crash on DEI? Go ahead.
We don't even yet know the names of the 67 people who were killed, and you are blaming Democrats and DEI policies and air traffic control and seemingly the member of the U.S. military who was flying that Black Hawk helicopter. Don't you think you're getting ahead of the investigation right now?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think with the names of the people, you mean the names of the people that are on the plane, you think that's going to make a difference?
Does it comfort their families
They
to
are
hear you
a
blaming
group of
DEI
people that have
policies?
lost their lives. If you want a list of the names, we can give you that. We'll be giving that very soon. We're in coordination with American Airlines. We're in coordination very strongly, obviously, with the military. But I think that's not a very smart question.
But are you
I'm
blaming-
surprised coming from you.
Are you blaming-
I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't.
As the president came out here and was casting blame, one thing I noted was that there are still bodies being pulled from the water of the Potomac right now. We know from officials that we heard from earlier that rescue and that recovery operation is very much still underway in some really difficult conditions that first responders were dealing with last night.
Wow. So he blamed the wreck, the midair collision on DEI. Are we going to find out that the traffic controllers are black? Are we going to find out that one of the pilots was black? And then the smart ass attitude. How do you say DEI had anything else? Because I got common sense. Did he ask somebody who was the traffic controllers? Were they black? Were they in there drinking? They were playing spades? Uno? What were they doing?
Not Uno.
Uno.
Not Uno.
Yeah, Uno. Pitty pat?
Dominoes.
Dominoes. Playing them bones, boy. Playing them bones. We'll take a break. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch, y'all. You know how we do every Monday. It's Moving Monday.
And Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 AM, the station you listen to
all day long.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
WBOK and LCMC Health are proud to present Keeping You Well Cafe. 60 Minutes with LCMC Health, where the doctors speak directly to the people of New Orleans. LCMC Health is committed to improving the quality of care here in New Orleans, the Gulf South, and beyond. The Keeping You Well Cafe is another way for LCMC Health to engage with the community. At the Keeping You Well Cafe, LCMC Health joins WBOK and local businesses to answer your questions about wellness and health.
Welcome to Liberty Bank and Trust, where your financial journey transforms communities. Since 1972, our customized banking solutions power your dreams and fuel your community growth. Every dollar you invest with us circles back to empower more people, ensuring opportunities for generations. Join us at Liberty Bank. Together, we empower possibility. Visit libertybank.net to start banking with purpose. Liberty Bank, there's freedom here.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
You flipped the mic on me again, didn't you? You flipped the mic on me again. That's all right.
Them years was actually impressive.
I saw you when you looked up. I'm like, boy, this Negro done turned the mic on me again. He tried to be getting me. He be trying his best to get me. I got to bring this up today. I'm probably going to end up talking about it again tomorrow, because I'm only going to get in about 30 minutes of this topic. But I was reading through NOLA.com, and I got to give him credit for the article, because this was written by Elise Carmosina. I think I'm getting that right. Please forgive me if I got it wrong. Carmosino. Over several years, Louisiana has methodically revamped how kids are taught to read. Now, the work appears to be paying off. While students in nearly every other state made little to no reading progress on a national exam, Louisiana's fourth graders made unprecedented gains. The state's fourth graders jumped 26 spots in the national rankings, landing at 16th place based on their reading scores on the assessment known as the nation's report card, which they took last year. For the second time, Louisiana's fourth graders led the nation in reading growth on the test, which is given every 2 years to fourth and eighth graders in every state. Louisiana's results are all the more remarkable because they come as students nationwide saw their reading scores plunge to near record lows in 2024, continuing a decline that began before the pandemic and has not let up. In sharp contrast, Louisiana's fourth graders are now scoring above pre-pandemic levels. The latest scores, which were released Wednesday, suggest that some of Louisiana's efforts to improve educational outcomes, especially in reading, have worked. We're writing a new story, said State Superintendent of Education Kay Brumley, describing the results as historic progress. This is an unbelievably great day for a lot of people, added Governor Jeff Landry during a press conference at Magnolia Woods Elementary School in Baton Rouge Wednesday, but especially for the kids of Louisiana. We have had long struggled with reading, but in recent years, the state adopted a series of policies aimed at boosting student literacy. Brumley, who stepped into his role in 2020, said his team decided to narrowly focus on reading rather than to try to improve math and literacy simultaneously. We knew we couldn't comprehensively tackle both at the same time because it would be too much for the system to absorb. We started with reading, and that's when we started to get legislative support. Beginning in 2021, lawmakers and educational leaders approved a slew of policies modeled after legislative passed roughly a decade earlier in Mississippi, with data suggested had contributed to major reading gains in their state. The changes included Louisiana's first ever K-2 accountability plan, which graded schools on the performance of their youngest students, and a new reading assessment that students in these grades could take 3 times a year. Districts are required to notify families of students their results on the exam. The state also launched tutoring programs during and after school for struggling readers and required teachers to take an intensive training course in the science of reading, a method to teach reading that focuses heavily on phonics. Louisiana also passed legislation that allowed the education department to set the curriculum and teacher prep programs so that they would focus on science of reading. In addition, the state passed a third-grade retention bill, which says students who are unable to read to grade level by the end of 3rd grade can be held back. The law took effect this school year. I think that we have a laser-like focus on the areas where we could really need to make improvements, says Representative Barbara Freiberg of Baton Rouge, who also serves on the House Education Committee. We're putting resources, funding, and remediation into these areas. Getting back to the basic works, said Schlegel, who heads the House Education Committee. I think if we could continue on the same path, we'll continue to improve. Other states have improved and implemented similar reforms, but few have seen the success that Louisiana has, begging the question, what makes Louisiana different? That's where I'm going to stop this story, with that question. What makes Louisiana different? The reason why I wanted to start this conversation on today is that these are one of the stories that always seem to come up bad for education of our children. I have dealt with the lawyers who have taken these folks to court. I have talked to educators who lost their jobs. I've heard the change of the passing scores to lower the passing score instead of making it higher to give them something to say, oh yeah, you did well, you passed. I've heard the kids that can't get into college because their scores are not high enough, but you passing. I've seen, in the famous words of Martin Luther King, pardon the pun, the mountaintop, a bull. Which, if this story is true, by any chance, because of the unnecessary steps that you have taken in the past, makes someone like me and other educators as well have a sense of disbelief that you're telling me you're doing so well. When I continuously see failing schools, when I continuously see charters that are losing their charter due to so-called missteps in their budgeting, when I see more money going toward the CEO, the CFOs, the see-you-soons, and the bassoons, and did I say the buffoons, than going toward the kids. These kids deserve a better shot because there are hundreds, thousands, and millions of dollars that the federal government, and I'm not even going to say the state, I'm going to say the federal government, pours into this state for the education of our public schools, which some folks had the audacity at some point in time to say, oh yeah, we're going to make y'all charter. all y'all are charter schools except for one. Now, let's say that within a year, we did see a change or we did better. Let's say that that did happen, especially in New Orleans. But yet, the lady that's the leader for the superintendent to be able to say, oh, okay, cool, we got a new superintendent, she gone. She left with a 30-day notice because evidently somebody found, probably on her team, and reported to her and then got the hell up out of there because they didn't want the scrutiny, a $36 million deficit. And somebody said, oops, we made a mistake. Wait, hold up. I made a mistake in my accounting and I misplaced $20. But you trying to tell me that somebody made a $36 million oopsie? And because she said, oh, I need to report this, she gone? Y'all made her sign an NDA so she can't tell it? But hell, I wouldn't have told it either. If you would have paid me what you paid her, $340,000 a year. Plus, we're going to not only do that, we're going to pay out the remaining contract that you have for 2025, which is until December. So guess what she's going to get? $340,000. And you're going to be giving me another $340,000 for next year? I love y'all like a play cousin. I'm out. Catch me on the beach, boy. You trying to tell me that we doing good? Ooh, we doing good. Them children can read. But yet at some point in time during the academics, y'all changed the way that we did the scoring? Of course they're going to do well. Don't tell me that a 50 is passing. If that's the case, let's bring back reading out loud to the people. Let's have the kids in all the different classes at every school. Not just the schools you want to pick, like the Ben Franklins or the what is that? The Newmans and all of those and other places in Baton Rouge. No. Let's get the urban kids. Urban, you say? I mean, hell, we on a DEI type of conversation. I think I have the right to say urban. Let's get the urban kids. Let me see how good them babies can read. If they can't read on the 3rd grade level, you all are full of hockey puck. And honestly, the way that we were taught, I was having a conversation with my niece when I went home in December. And she was talking about their classes and stuff that she has to do. And because she had homework over the holiday. And I said, let's go here, And she said, no, I gotta stay here for a minute because I got to finish doing my work. I said, what work you doing? She said, well, I got to finish up this report because I got a civics class. And I said, hold on. You're in high school and y'all got civic classes? I know we had civics classes when I was in high school. She said, yeah, we got civics classes. And I was trying to figure out in the curriculums that we have here, do we have civic classes in OPSO? I mean, I'm sorry, we might have them in OPSO. That's the sheriff's office. I mean, OPSOB. Do we have civic classes? Who's teaching civics? Dookie. I talk to myself. Because y'all know when we get into education, y'all get real quiet. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Ooh, let me be real quiet. I ain't going to say nothing. Shh. I like my representative. This ain't got nothing to do with your representative. Your representative could be just as foul as some of this stuff that I'm smelling with this whole case of just saying, oh, the babies is, we number 16 in the state on the nation. Y'all believe that? Is that because all the schools except one in Orleans Parish is charter? It's because if that's the case, I'm sorry, Jefferson Parish ain't. Slidell ain't. But I sure would like you to break down the numbers and stop just putting me a ranking with the state. Give me the ranking of the city. Or did we even count? Because I noticed that if y'all look at the photos in this story that's on NOLA.com and read the small print underneath it, it says Governor Landry, who's at the podium speaking about this, is showing improvements in education, but he's in Baton Rouge. The nation's report card at Magnolia Woods Elementary in Baton Rouge. He didn't come here for that story. He did not come here for that story. So where's New Orleans ranking in this? What'd you say, Gary?
What's going on, G-Man?
How you doing?
I'm good, but I couldn't hold back. I went to the school board meeting last night, and it was discussing the next superintendent. And the first thing that fell on me was the room being empty. You know, with all these kids, I don't know how many thousands of kids we have in the public school system, but very few parents. Most of the people in the room were union people, I guess people interested in the job, and a few activists. And
am I wrong in assuming too, Gary, that they do have to pick someone to be the next superintendent within a certain period?
The school board will be selecting the candidates for superintendent. They're going to cast a wide net supposedly, and then narrow it down to a few candidates, and they're going to vote and pick who the next superintendent is.
Yeah, I think that's a farce, though, because I do think that the rules can be extended if they wanted to extend them.
Well, without the community putting any pressure on the school board,
right,
they're going to do what the hell they want to do.
Right.
You know, and for me, the president of the board, or whoever the leader of the board was, what's called president, madam president, okay, she laid out a list of things that she said the board will be looking for. Somebody with some experience. She said it should be a local, somebody that they know for sure can relate to the kids. And that list of criteria, there 5 or 6 things, I jotted them down. I don't have them with me right now.
Mm.
She read Dr. Ashante Wyatt's resume. Somebody who engaged the community. She read Dr. Ashante Wyatt's description of what we in the community feel like we should have as a superintendent. And they claim that they're going to, whoever the next superintendent is, probably already lives within 10 miles of 10 miles of New Orleans. But that includes St. Tammany, St. Bernard, Plaquemines, Jefferson, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So there was no guarantee that it was going to be her or somebody actually from New Orleans. But you tell me who else, knowing our kids in this city, knowing their backgrounds, the type of households the majority of them come from, the struggles, the problems, the complexities of living in this city and being a black child, a young black child. You tell me who else but Dr. Wyatt can fill those shoes?
No, I mean they're gonna find somebody. Now,
You tell me
what
that
did
you tell
Dr.
me they're
Wyatt
gonna find
do?
somebody that they're gonna put in that seat.
What did Dr. Wyatt do? Dr. Wyatt told the truth and uncovered a whole bunch of criminal activity with dollars and funds that belong to all of us. And when the FBI came through and prosecuted those folks that were involved in it, Dr. Wyatt was the person that should have been said, "Thank you, Dr. Wyatt." But I bet you, I can almost guarantee you, she didn't even get a pat on the back. Good way to go. Somebody saying, "Thank you, Dr. Wyatt." And I can almost guarantee you today that nobody said thank you to her.
Well, let me tell you this, because it was a big time name, one of the big time name brand preachers in this city.
Yep.
Southall, I'll say his name. I ain't afraid of none of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so where is that part of the community? Not just this education issue. And a lot of these big preachers, they preach about this, that, and the other, and want to help. Why didn't a lot of these public school kids that are being mistreated, their people are part of these congregations? Why they not standing up with us, the community, the activists, to try to influence what this board does? Where's our politicians? From Troy Carter down to these people elected on the city council. These other leaders that we have that are connected to nonprofits that get money from the politicians, people in business. You know, we other educators, teachers who were wronged when they were part of all these public schools that weren't hired or given severance package to lead the school system. You know, we got to wake up. Man. We got people who can make a difference and do have influence and power that are not using it. You know, all of them part of the system that's corrupt and worried about dollars before people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
These children deserve, if not Dr. Wyatt, somebody just like Dr. Wyatt who's going to care about them and gain the support of the community. You know, my kids, my grandkids are in North and South Carolina. They're part of charter school system that require parental involvement. I haven't heard anything in this city about, you know, probably in the private schools, but about parent-teachers organizations or parent-teacher associations, moms and dad clubs. Do that stuff exist in these charter schools? It's like they're discouraging parents away from the school so they can't be involved in the kids' lives. And if I'm wrong, somebody please contact me and correct me, but I don't see the things that make kids successful. You know, and I told the story before. I took a young man who graduated from Miller McCoy Academy to take the test for the Army. And dropped him off, came back and picked him up, and the guy said, "Man, let me talk to you." He said, "I've never had anybody score this low on the ASVAB." He said,
wow.
"You sure this guy graduated?" I'm like, "Man, he showed you his thing before you gave him the test."
Wow.
You know, that's what we're up against, man.
Yeah.
You know, we just not. You know, are we asleep in the subject? I live in the 7th Ward, and there's like there's 5 groups of kids that catch the bus near me. All right, from elementary to high school. You know, I know it's a different color uniforms and all. And none of them are going to schools within walking distance of where I live, and I live right near Valina C. Jones School.
Mm-hmm.
It's big and empty, closed up, graffitied.
Wow.
You know, those schools used to have Fredericks Junior High, Colton, Garay, Couvon. There's school buildings that are still there, but our kids don't have access to them.
That's indeed.
It's like we want to be bused from New Orleans east to the West Bank.
Yeah. All right, Gary. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
We need a campaign. We need a rally. We need to encourage our elected officials to use their power, their influence, and let's put a good word in for, if not Dr. Wyatt, the next best candidate for our children.
Got it. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you much.
All
right, Mr. Buddy.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
I listened to the story. I listened to Dr. White, I guess, this morning when she was on, and she was going full bore about not being allowed to apply for the job or superintendent or something. But I also heard about your talk about the $26 million mistake or $36 million mistake they made. So I went to the New Orleans Public School Board website. And remember the talk you, me, and Suzette had about what the mission of the school board was, and they were supposed to be in Jefferson Parish, and she read out the bullets, and about 7 out of the 9 of them were managing the money, property tax dollars that went to the school board. Couldn't find a mission statement that made any sense on the Orleans Parish School Board site. So I understand Dr. White was kind of emotional about supporting the children and everything, but if she's running for superintendent, I guess that's her thing with the school board is what I'm surprised about. You know, nothing about managing dollars that where were their bullets? So I can understand that Orleans Parish has got a problem with their public schools and their school board.
So one of the things I will tell you that this is what I've learned over the number of years that we talk about anything that goes with OPSB, and that is understanding what is the direction. Because I don't really know and understand what the school board members do except vote on stuff. They don't control no schools. They don't make nothing in their district of schools any better or worse because they're charter controlled. They got one school out of all the schools that's controlled by the Orleans Parish School Board. Out of all the schools, and I'm thinking to myself, what do you all do? Do we really need you all? Y'all just accept the money. You're the state entity that accepts the money from the federal government and from the state. That's it. But as far as Dr. Wyatt being able to, right? Let me finish. As far as Dr. Wyatt being able to apply for the position, if she qualifies, she should be able to apply. Unless there's something that she did, which I can tell you she didn't. I think, now this is my personal opinion, I think they scared of her because she gonna find, and this is what I'm talking about with the accounting part, she gonna find something wrong. And she's already done it one time before. And the last person she found that something was done wrong with money, he in jail.
No, I was just surprised that she was the host on the radio program and went on about it.
I'm not. I'm not surprised that she went on the radio program. Sometimes you need that microphone. The last person you want to mess with is the person that has the microphone.
Okay. I was just surprised that, she was as the host of a radio program, that she was using the platform to advance herself.
Did she advance herself?
In another field.
But where would you do it?
As a guest on a program, you could do it, but I was talking about as the host.
Well, maybe she'll just call me and I'll do it from now on. How about that one? There we go. All right. Thank you, sir.
But that's their problem, I think, is there's no mission statement. They're the ones that can pull a charter from a company that's running a charter school. So, let it go. All right.
There we go. Thank you, sir. More coming up, y'all. We got to take a break.
Hey, this is Steve Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
The National World War II Museum, located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans. The National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
This is the coach, Garrett Sashere. The Sports Report is coming up next on WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey, that's that.
Hey, Ron.
What's going on, G?
You the man, brother.
Say, bro, you know you crazy, bro, for real.
No. What's going on with you?
And look, first shouts out to the Fatherhood Roundtable as well as the People's Political Party. Let me say this to Buddy. The reason why he's so surprised because I can guarantee you he doesn't know what it takes or how it feels to sacrifice everything that you love and have to stand up for righteousness and still be persecuted. Like you just said, the reason why he is surprised because people like Buddy and other European people, they don't expect for black people to stand up and speak truth to righteous, so-called truth to power, should I say. They expect for agendas to be handed down and we ain't supposed to say nothing, which is why what we see in our city is why we see within our city. Same reason why they assassinated Dr. King. Same reason why they planted them plants inside the Black Panther Party to get rid of Chairman Fred Hampton. Because, again, black unity, as well as the Black Panther Party, was a threat to the so-called American society.
I just look at it like this, though, Aaron. And I hear yours, but I always look at it like this. You really want to know the truth about me? The best person to ask is me.
It's me.
Y'all put a story about me on the air. I'm the best person that can answer it and talk about it because I know the truth is about me.
Thank you.
That's the way
because
I look at it.
Last I checked, the pastor who was saying that Dr. White was lying, he in jail.
Yep.
And Dr. White is free. So
Yep.
that goes to show me that he was lying and our sister is free. Now, what he need to be looking at, Buddy, what you need to be looking at is all the leadership within his city who don't even have a clue on what the hell they doing. And here this sister has the credentials and then some to show that she not only know what she's doing, but has the expertise in her field.
Yeah.
It can't get hired. But when you look at the people who they're constantly bringing in for that position, they're not even staying, 6 months, 8 months to a year?
Well, I just think that they can
and
find,
look where we at.
and the superintendent at that time could also be one of those that can demand that there be an accounting oversight and an audit. And they can find out what $36 million went instead of saying it was an accounting error. Okay?
Gee,
somebody
that
told
ain't no
me,
account
Aaron,
area.
that $36 was missing. I'm calling for a legislative audit.
Check this out. They pulled a letter. I'm not gonna say no names, but it was $15,000, if that. It could have been $1,500. They wanted to shut the whole city down. So you mean to tell me it was $36 million? Nobody said nothing? Come on, man. That's just the things what they take and do to make it seem like they give a damn when all actuality we know they don't. Because if they do, there is no way, again, we will see the results that we see in our city. No matter who's the mayor, no matter who's the city councilman and or woman or whatever. It's a reason why strategic things are happening in strategic areas. Again, it's a reason why Denzel Washington received an award from playing Training Day, but didn't receive one for playing Malcolm X. That was not that is not a coincidence. That was strategically done. He had to play a dirty cop to win the major award, but didn't win no major award for playing Malcolm X. Man, come on, man.
I mean, we got a whole bunch of scenarios we can go there though. But look, you're right. I'm gonna leave it at that because I got to get up out of here. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right, G.
Thank you, my brother.
Y'all
Appreciate you
take
much.
it easy, man. Yeah, you're right.
Hey, Ron. There he is. All right, y'all. That's gonna wrap things up for me. I appreciate everybody for being a part of the conversation on today. We'll be back tomorrow to kick off the weekend. Coming up, it is the Sports Report. You don't want to miss out on it. It got a whole bunch of questions that are gonna be answered and asked. So more coming up, y'all. Don't go nowhere. Don't turn that dial. Sports Report is up next. I'll see you tomorrow.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK 1230 AM, Go, and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIA News. President Trump is confirming no survivors in last night's D.C. plane crash, which likely killed 67 people. He called it a national tragedy and vowed to prevent future incidents. The crash occurred over the Potomac around 9 p.m. An internal report found the on-duty controller was handling a 2-person job during the late-night crash between an American Airlines regional flight and an Army helicopter near Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C. Recovery efforts remain underway in the icy Potomac. The Federal Reserve is leaving interest rates unchanged. Wednesday's announcement comes after the Fed cut rates 3 times last year. It also marks the first policy decision during President Trump's second term. And Black Detroit rapper Dink DeMoss is suing Lyft after a driver denied her a ride due to her weight, telling her to request a larger vehicle. Her attorney calls it, quote, obvious discrimination, end quote, citing state protections. I'm Amber Payton on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
WBOK 1230 AM online at WBOK1230.com.
Man, I seen a fine female today. Man, this female was so fine, man, she blew my mind. You ain't got no mind. Man, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. She was so fine, I started singing this song right here. You know what I'm saying? You wanna know what I was saying? Man, I was saying.